All right, imagine this. You walk into your house, say, Alexa, play my favorite song, and within seconds, music starts playing. Or you type a few words into Google, and it instantly gives you millions of results in the right order. Or you upload a photo on Facebook, and it automatically tags your friends. Have you ever wondered, how does that actually happen? How does a machine understand words, recognize faces, make decisions, and even learn from experience? That's the magic and the science of artificial intelligence, or AI. But here's the truth. AI isn't magic. It's just math, data, and algorithms working together in a very smart way. And today I'm going to explain how artificial intelligence actually works in the simplest way possible. So let's start at the beginning. What exactly is AI? Artificial intelligence means teaching computers to think and learn like humans. But here's the twist. They don't actually think the way we do. They just follow patterns, analyze data, and make predictions based on what they have seen before. Think of it like this. If you show a child 1,000 pictures of cats, eventually they'll recognize what a cat looks like. They'll notice the fur, the eyes, the ears, the shape, and they'll know that if it has those features, it's probably a cat. AI does the same thing, just with way more data and way faster. Now let's talk about how this learning process actually works. AI is built on something called machine learning. Machine learning is a method that allows computers to learn patterns from data instead of being explicitly programmed. Traditionally, computers follow instructions. For example, if you write a program to calculate taxes, it will do exactly that, nothing more. But with machine learning, you give the computer examples, not step-by-step rules. And the computer figures out the pattern itself. For example, if you want to teach an AI to recognize spam emails, you feed it thousands of examples. Some labeled spam and some not spam. Over time, the AI studies the differences, the words, the structure, the tone, and learns what spam usually looks like. Then when a new email arrives, it uses that knowledge to predict, this one is spam. No one told it the exact rules. It learned them from experience. That's the beauty of machine learning. But there's another layer, deep learning. This is where things get even more fascinating. Deep learning is inspired by the human brain. Our brains are made up of billions of neurons connected in networks. Each neuron receives signals, processes them, and passes them on. That's how we think, see, speak, and make decisions. AI mimics this through something called a neural network. Instead of biological neurons, it uses mathematical nodes, digital brain cells. These nodes are arranged in layers. An input layer where information enters, several hidden layers where the magic happens, and an output layer where the result comes out. For example, if you want AI to recognize a dog in a picture, the input layer takes the raw pixels, the hidden layers analyze edges, shapes, and colors, and the output layer decides, yes, that's a dog. Each layer extracts deeper and deeper features. That's why it's called deep learning, because it goes through many layers of understanding. Now, how does the AI get good at it? Through something called training. Training is just the process of showing the AI tons of data until it gets better at predicting the right answer. It starts by guessing often wrong. Then it compares its guess with the correct answer and adjusts its internal settings slightly. It keeps doing this over and over, millions or even billions of times, until it becomes incredibly accurate. These internal settings are known as weights. They decide how strongly one piece of information affects another. So during training, the AI keeps fine-tuning these weights to minimize errors. Imagine you are learning to shoot basketball hoops. At first, you miss. Then you adjust your angle, your power, your aim. Over time, you start hitting more shots. AI works exactly like that. Trial, error, adjustment, repeat. Now let's make it even simpler. AI systems need three main ingredients to work: data, algorithms, and computing power. Data is the fuel. The more data you feed an AI, the smarter it gets. Data can be anything: images, text, voice, numbers, videos. AI uses that data to find patterns and make predictions. 2. Algorithms are the recipes. They're the mathematical rules that tell the AI how to learn from data. Some algorithms group similar things together. Some make predictions. Others recognize sequences or patterns. 3. Computing power is the engine. AI needs powerful hardware, like GPUs, which stands for graphics processing units, to process massive amounts of data quickly. The faster the computer, the more efficiently AI can learn. Put these three together, and that's how AI starts thinking. Let's look at some real-world examples of how this works. When you use Netflix, it studies your watch history, what genres you like, when you stop watching, what you rewatch, and then predicts what you will enjoy next. That's AI. When you shop on Amazon, the recommendations you see, people who bought this also bought, are powered by AI. It studies millions of users, finds similar patterns, and predicts what you are most likely to buy next. When you use Google Maps, AI analyzes real-time traffic data, predicts congestion, and suggests the fastest route. It's constantly learning from every car, every trip, every update. Even when you post a selfie on Instagram and it adds filters automatically, that's computer vision, another branch of AI. But let's address the question everyone asks. Can AI really think like humans? Not exactly. AI doesn't have emotions, consciousness, or true understanding. It doesn't know things the way you do. It just identifies patterns and data and uses math to predict what comes next. For example, when you talk to ChatGPT or another AI assistant, it doesn't understand your feelings. It just predicts which words statistically make the most sense next, based on billions of examples. So yes, it can sound human, but it's not human. AI doesn't dream, desire, or decide like we do. It processes, predicts, and performs. Now let's talk about how AI is trained safely and responsibly, because this is important. AI only knows what it is taught. If the data it's trained on is biased, incomplete, or wrong, the AI's decisions will reflect that. That's why data quality matters more than data quantity. Developers spend huge amounts of time cleaning, filtering, and balancing data to make sure the AI learns fairly and accurately. Because if you train it on the wrong examples, it will make wrong predictions, just like a student who studies from the wrong textbook. And now AI is everywhere. In healthcare, helping doctors detect diseases from scans. In finance, predicting market trends and preventing fraud. In education, personalizing learning for each student. In cars, making self-driving vehicles safer and smarter. The systems behind these technologies all use the same foundation. Data patterns, predictions, action. That's the heartbeat of AI. But here's where it gets exciting and a little scary. AI doesn't just follow orders anymore. It can now generate things, new text, music, art, even videos. This new era is called generative AI. It's what powers tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, and DALL-E. These systems don't just analyze data. They create new data based on what they've learned. If you ask AI to write a poem, it does not copy one. It writes a new one, using patterns it has seen in millions of other poems. If you ask it to generate an image of a robot painting a sunset, it will create something original that has never existed before. This is possible thanks to advanced models called transformers, the brains behind most modern AI systems. They're incredibly good at understanding context, patterns, and relationships between words, sounds, and images. So is AI taking over the world? Not quite. AI is powerful, but it's only as good as the humans behind it. It can make life easier, smarter, and more efficient. But it also raises questions about privacy, jobs, and ethics. That's why the future isn't about AI replacing humans, it's about humans working with AI, using it as a tool to amplify creativity, improve decision-making, and solve problems faster. AI can do the hard work, data crunching, analysis, automation, so humans can focus on the higher work, creativity, empathy, strategy, and innovation. At the end of the day, AI isn't some mysterious, all-knowing force. It's a human-made system designed to learn, predict, and assist. It learns from us. It imitates us. And its future depends on how wisely we guide it. Because artificial intelligence isn't about replacing human intelligence, it's about enhancing it. So next time you talk to a voice assistant, scroll through recommendations, or see an AI-generated video, remember, behind all that intelligence is just lines of code, millions of data points, and a machine doing one thing very, very well. Learning from patterns just like us. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone curious about AI. Because understanding how it works is the first step to using it wisely and shaping a smarter, more powerful future together.